Hi everyone, hope everyone's doing well and welcome to Dow's Daily Commute. Again, this is kind of a capsule, if you will, in regards to the last time that we talked. So I'm going to go over such things as my own observations, maybe some webinars that I've participated in, and also in regards to some feedback I've received from you yourself, giving me questions, but also my fellow wholesalers, internal wholesalers there. So, are you getting more like your family dog? Are you getting more like your family dog? Now, what I mean by that is this, okay? Are you maybe every 5 minutes you're sniffing around looking for food? Okay? Are you looking at any movement that happens outside the window? Anything happens outside the window, it doesn't have to be a squirrel or whatever, you're looking out the window. And then finally, are you looking forward to the ride in the car? If you are, then you're getting more like your family dog. One question I received is, Ed, why do you dress the way that you do? This is kind of where we're at homes and different things. How come you're in the suit all the time? I've been in a suit probably going over 50 years. And reason, I'm in a suit today, I'm working today. And to get myself ready, I dress myself in a suit. And also at times as I get ready that day, it becomes a little bit of an object lesson. You probably always see then maybe this little pearl right here, okay? How does a pearl become a pearl? Well, to the oyster, it's an obstruction. And yet from that obstruction that's there, the oyster goes on and makes a beautiful thing, such as the pearl right here. There were two farmers in the same region, and they were going through hard times. It wasn't raining for a long, long time. They were in a drought. The one farmer prayed. He prayed in the morning and he prayed in the evening. The other farmer, he also prayed in the morning and the evening. The second farmer, besides praying, he started to prepare and use all his talents and all the resources that he had available to himself. He was getting ready. He was getting prepared for when the rain came. Question, who trusted God the most? I'm going to maybe bring today maybe some seeds for you to prepare, not only now, but also when the rains come. So here's one of our first seeds for you. I was privileged today actually to set in on a webinar. This webinar was put on by 1 Million Cups. If you would go to Google and say 1-million cups, you're going to hear about a sponsorship by the Kauffman Foundation. They're in all major cities. And this particular speaker at the 1 Million Cups, one of the directors for the SBA in Rapid City. And her name was Pamela Selberg. One point that she made is this. The SBA is working with financial institutions and to get this money out as soon as possible. That would be the PPP loans that you hear about, and then the EIDL loans that you hear about there. Well, one bit of information that Pam shared with us, again in this fluidness where things can change overnight, is that something changed overnight. 1099, self-employed or an individual contractor, the opportunity opened up on April the 10th. There's now been an addition, and that addition started April 15th. Anyone that applied and went in and did the steps necessary to apply for either one of those loans prior to that, this requirement would not be needed. But now going forward, Pam wanted to stress to us that it is. And again, the category I'm speaking of right now are the self-employed and the individual contractor. It is, they're going to need your 1040 Schedule C, the 2019 1040 Schedule C. And you say, well, wait a minute, time out here. Taxes aren't due have to be filed until July 15th now. That's correct. But you don't have to be filed, but they do need a copy of that's actually been done by you or the accountant at that point. So that's a brand new requirement that is needed there. On the good side, I know of an individual that he has received his $1,200 already. And I know of a business, they've already then filed and they've been approved for the PPP loan. Okay, so it's working now, folks. But they have experienced people there at the SBA, believe me. Again, remember, folks, you might be applying for two different types of loans, the PPP and the EIDL. They stress that these have to be kept separate, so you might have to keep separate filings in regards to that. So that was one seed there, folks. Hey, folks, here's another seed for you, either now or keep it there on that rainy day. It comes from Lincoln National, set in on a webinar there, and one of the particular items that caught me, and I wrote it down, a lot of these major companies are renegotiating their reinsurance contracts. They have already committed so many premium dollars to their reinsurer. And now they've had to go back and kind of renegotiate in regards to, you might say, lowering the bar in regards to accelerated underwriter and fluidless underwriting. You speak of an insurance premium, it's only built of what? 3 items: mortality, interest, and expenses. And when you have variations of that, then the premium, the actuary then starts to move the premium. And so interest rates are what? Super low. Okay. Mortality. How this will affect the mortality is anyone's maybe guess for right now. Okay. But it is in a factor. And his point to us was, now is the time for us then to act on behalf of our clients and talk about conversions and move in regards to even new issues because of the fluidless and accelerated underwriting to maybe the guaranteed universal life, or lock in the premiums now on the index universal life. But his point is, lock in those premiums now, because maybe just like taxes, do you expect that they're going to go up? I would expect that at some point then we're going to see premiums start to rise there. So I thought that was very good there. Also, his point was this: price only matters in the absence of value. Price only matters in the absence of value, folks. And what's the most, number one value that they receive? That's you. They receive you. Sure, they can go online and go buy the term, but they don't get you. That's one of the values that they get. Price only matters in the absence of value there. How about the Secure Act, the non-spousal beneficiary? How's that for a seed for you? We have an annuity that will fit within that 10-year time frame. So I'm talking about a non-spousal beneficiary receiving this IRA money. We know that the stretch IRA has gone away, okay? We're able to still take care of our clients. This particular product, it's then it's an accumulation annuity, but in that accumulation annuity, it knows that it needs to be within that 10-year time frame. So be sure to contact our internal wholesalers. They'd love to talk to you about this. And it's particular for the non-spousal IRA beneficiary. Another possible seed, folks, that is in regards to the value of a policy review. Can't overemphasize. I was just at a conference webinar with a well-renowned Ed Slott. And one of the very first things, probably first 30 seconds, he mentioned, you need to call your client. He mentioned one particular firm, they put around for everybody, everyone's going to call a minimum of 5 clients today. And maybe just communicate, assess the situation with them, listen, and then sit down and lay out a plan. Listen. Take time to listen to them. Listen to the tone of their voice. Listen to the anxiety maybe they have. Okay? And then help them then lay out then going forward. Maybe the beneficiary. In regards to the beneficiary, do you have it set up on per stirpes or per capita in regards to the contingent and beneficiary? And if you want a little more about that, contact your internal wholesaler. They'll be glad to help you in regards to those things. And they have, indeed, some valuable resources and tools in regards to what I just mentioned of the policy review. Nice seed to be planning there. Another seed. Again, we've got a good row going here. How about the phrase on business insurance in regards to doing the policy review there? Is the Goodman Triangle set up in regards to the way that this business insurance is set up? Need to check that out. If the Goodman Triangle is there, it's not quite like the Bermuda Triangle, folks, but it is maybe just as bad. You don't want the Goodman Triangle. What is the Goodman Triangle? Maybe deals with beneficiaries and owners and things of this stuff in business insurance. Contact that internal wholesaler and they will be glad to help you in regards to the Goodman Triangle. Okay, and please note, folks, as I mentioned, these seeds, they could be used right away, hopefully, put there, or you maybe put it aside and think, well, I remember I heard about that, and who do I contact on that? Let me contact financial markets and talk to my wholesaler. A story, if I will. A little fertilizer for the seeds, okay? As some of you know, I went to college in Northeast Nebraska. About my second year there in college, I got a letter from the college. And the letter said, Mr. Bartling, we'd like you to stay home for 1 year. You're on academic probation. I should have known this, but you see, I was majoring in pizza, beer, and cards. And some classes, I just wasn't able to get up in time to go to some of those classes. So from that, I knew I was going to be off 1 year. I had to go to work. And I worked at the Iowa Beef Packers. Folks, you don't want to be a left-handed person at the Iowa Beef Packers. They won't give you a knife to use on the kill floor. They give me one of the dirtiest jobs around. I had to reach up and pin a weason. The jugular vein of the cow, when it would come around, I had to reach up while it was bleeding. It had just been cut, and I'd have to put a rubber band around that to stop it before it went down the line, and then they cut the carcass open. It wasn't a fun occupation. Another job I had in that year I was off is I got to work with my father-in-law. I worked with him on the county bridge crew. Now, he was a backhoe operator. They give me a shovel to use. That's what I got to use. But also, I got to drive because some of the people didn't have driver's license. And so I got to drive what they call the boom truck. And we would go around the county and we put in new culverts or new bridges. But we had to go down into the ditches. And when I get down in the ditch sometimes, I'd get stuck my first couple times. Well, then my father-in-law said to me, Dal, you got to stick her in Granny. I said, what? Stick it in super low. Get her down there before you go on down the hill, get it in low so when you can come up. So go nice and slow and steady, but you're going to be going forward and you're going to be making progress. Hopefully, folks, that's what some of these seeds for you that you can use today or maybe you're going to be using tomorrow. That you're going to stick her in Granny and you're going to make steady progress there. Another seed for you. How's this? Maybe you've had a person that are looking at the life event, but they're not the healthiest in the world. And you're looking for maybe some particular protection for them for that life event of long-term care. How about an annuity that could offer possibly 3 times the initial amount that's put in for long-term care? Yes, we have such a product. And it's on maybe a simplified type basis, kind of some knockout questions, if you will. But it's more liberalized than maybe some other typical long-term cares or life insurance with a hybrid type thing. Keep that seed in mind there. Let me share a phrase with you. Here's another seed. Kaizen is coming. I'll just leave it with that. But Kaizen is coming. It's not going to be for everyone. Kaizen is not for everyone. But we're going to be able to explore that with you. And this is going to be a really, really nice opportunity for you. Think of this. Life insurance is more important than ever before. Life insurance carriers are looking to what? Do what they do. They cover the risk for death. So they're looking in regards to this environment and saying, let's go with accelerated underwriting. Let's go with fluidless needed. Let's go without the APSs and let's get the policy out the door. Let's take advantage of these electronic technologies that we have, such as you'll see electronic policies, e-signatures, e-applications itself. You, the agents, are embracing these technologies right and left. We're getting more and more applications come in the door big percentage of them now are what? E-applications, of course. Carriers are taking advantage of these tools all the time. I can remember years back in which when an agent wanted an illustration, folks, we used a Texas Instrument. Had to take the phone off the hook, put it on, hook it into the modem, set up these different dials to do the illustration, and it came back on thermo paper. We had a time element of, we only had 15 minutes in a day. We had to put all of our requests in 15 minutes of the day. Illustrations were not available till the next day. Just think of the chasm we've jumped over in regards to the technology, folks, that are collectively available to us and our clients, our economy. Trillions of dollars are going out there in regards to our businesses out there. And at the core of business, what's that? Small businesses, your clients. You have a reason, as Ed Slott, what to call those clients. We have the products already there in regards to the fixed index annuity, where again is the phrase, zero can be a hero there in helping there. I've lived in 20 different places in my lifetime, 2 in foreign countries. But I was able to go to junior high and high school in a small town, less than 1,000 people. And they had a small town drugstore. So in your mind, think of the small town drugstore. You know, when you're very, very young, you go to the small town drugstore, and maybe you don't even go in. You stay outside, put in a nickel, and you ride the horse. Remember those small horses that they had out in front of the drugstores that you could ride? Then as maybe you got a little older, maybe you did go in the drugstore. You didn't go very far because you saw what? All the comic books. And you looked at the comic books. Got a little older. Then maybe you went on back and you got something over the counter. Another stage in life, you went back, you're a little older, and you got prescriptions filled. Maybe you're old as I am, and now you go back and you not only get prescriptions filled, but you go on back and you sit in that chair where they do your blood pressure automatically. All those are different changes at different stages of your life. And Dr. Elko is going to talk about those different changes in reflecting in regards to the environment that we have there. Before we do that, a book that deals with changes. It's called Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson. But he speaks of what to anticipate change, to adapt to change, to enjoy change, and be ready for change. So I think it's a real good book. As you can see, it's less than 100 pages. So, Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson. Another one in regards to a movie that deals with change, Apollo 13. If you haven't looked at it again, please do. Apollo 13 is the movie that I would very much recommend. And maybe I can add to this list that of a poem. A poem I would recommend would be If by Rudyard Kipling. I happen to have the poem right here in my office here that I do. What is this code that we have here? This GP for U equals G. What does this mean there? I thank you for your time. And finally, 2 little things here. One, maybe you don't have this, but please let me know and I can get one of these to you. This is a round to it. Maybe things are going not so good and you just haven't got around to it yet. Or maybe the kids, you're trying to do home teaching and they haven't got around to it. I'd like to send this to you so you can share that with the kids. They now have around to it. So blessed are they who ease the pain of misfortune, for they shall be called insurance agents. We are here for your life. I thank you for your time.
It's Dr. Elko again, and what I want to go through here is I want to go through stages of change. When I came through school, I really gravitated toward models and systems. They helped me. I put it into my mind so I could work through a system. And one of the things that I got into when they started to teach me was when people grieve, when there's endings, when there's stuff that happens. And there was a Chicago physician who came up with when people grieve, and all grieve means is mentally how I handle an ending. something change. And we talk about change, we're really talking about something ending. And the word crisis, I don't know if you notice we're in a crisis if you want to define what it means. Crisis means ending and beginning. So every time something happens, there's an ending and sort of a beginning. And there was a physician in Chicago, her name was Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Do any of you know her work? She went through something called, when you would give anybody any news medically, if you would go through, they went through different steps. And the first step she talked about, and I don't know if you've noticed it, but I noticed me going through it when this last crisis, this one happened, is denial. This isn't happening. Because we really want more than anything else to be safe and secure. Our brains are really outdated. Our brains really want us safe and secure, so we don't want to be uncomfortable. Really, nobody does. So when I work with any kind of financial professional, we're really deep down inside, what we're saying is, can I be comfortable? But you know what the great ones do? Say, let me get comfortable being uncomfortable. So the first thing we do is denial. And we go, it's not happening. And I was talking to John here in our crowd, and I was walking through Detroit Airport the other day, and I saw like 5 people. Like the place was empty. I'm going, this is happening. So you have to get out of that spot. Look, we don't want to deny. We want to first deny. We want to say, it's coming to an end. This is done. The next step we kind of get, did you notice this happening? Anger. Why are they doing this? They shouldn't be doing this. Who's creating this? Who's doing all, what's this going, where does this come from? That's what we do. We get angry. Now, I'm going to teach you something about angry. I want to work you through these steps. So the first step is, I told you I teach language. You know how you get through denial? Say this. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Say that. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. We want to be comfortable. This is uncomfortable. Let me show you what anger is. Can I hear what anger is? Anger is a should. You should be different. You should be different. The market should be different. The person that I married should be different. The weather should be different. The whole company should be different. The world should be different. Let me give you your self-talk phrase here. Ready? Stop shooting on yourself. You smell bad. Anger is one word, should. So to get through my model here, you have to stop and watch this fancy phrase. Think about what you think about. We're walking around and we're so immobilized we can't do anything because we're going, I'm angry. That shouldn't be happening. You have to step back and go, it is happening. This is happening. No, it shouldn't be. Oh, it is. And then that leads us to our next step. Are you ready? Depression. Of whatever form. Can I tell you why it's depression? Here comes our third thing, because I'm going to teach you how to talk to you. Our imagination. I mean, we're going through this right now. People are going, I just saw this in a movie. Maybe the next year I'm going to have to stay locked in my room by myself. That's what our imagination does. Oh, I'm going to be completely broke. Oh, we're doomed. Everybody's going to hell. That's what our imagination will do. Your imagination runs 24 hours a day. So that's a good thing, because watch this. This is important when it comes to being sad. If you don't take command of your imagination, it will take command of you. Let's be honest. As you've watched what's going on in the media lately, has your imagination, even for a couple minutes, taken every one of you to a dark place? So grab your imagination and let it take you to a higher place. Grab your imagination. A guy on a plane yesterday coughed and didn't cover his mouth. Within 90 seconds, I had the bubonic plague. I had anger first. You shouldn't have done that. I'm going to choke you. That was my first thing, right? That was my first should. I said, well, he did do it, right? If he does it, I have to advise him he does it again. But then I said, then I had the bubonic plague. I turned over and said, oh my goodness, how am I going to pay for my kids to go through school when I'm in a wheelchair? I went through it all. Your imagination, and we just talked about momentum, it'll start building momentum. Grab a hold of your imagination and say to you, say it all the time, if I don't grab a hold of my imagination will grab a hold of me. I've watched people get so, literally, not trying to be funny, depressed, dark, nothing will work, my job won't work. I've watched careers end because their imagination takes them there. But if you could take command of your imagination, guys flying a plane, engine light pops on. The engine light pops on. And when the engine light pops on, he looks at co-pilot and says, keep flying this plane, I'll be back. He goes and looks at the engine, and there's a mouse gnawing at the wires going inside the engine. He comes back and says, take this plane higher. When something happens like now, let your imagination take you higher. And get together, because don't let the momentum go that direction. So it starts off with denial, and then it goes to anger. Then our imagination takes to depression. Watch the next one. Bargaining. I'll hide, it'll go away. I'll wear my lucky socks, it'll go away. I'll wear them lucky underwear, it'll go away. I'll go be nice to somebody, it'll go away. I worked with Nick Foles for the Super Bowl. And here's what I say about bargaining. And I gave him a story about when David became the king of Israel. This is a history story. Someone said, I got your director of security. Who? Benaiah. What'd he do? He came face to face with a lion. He ran at the lion. The lion turned and fell into a pit. He jumped in the pit and killed it with his bare hands. Don't run away from anything. Run at it. Don't run away from what's going on here. Don't sit in your office and hide. Don't stay away from calling for your people. Don't stay away from the stuff you've got to do. Go right at it. Everybody say this. Run at the roar. Run at the lion. Now, look, this is what's going on right now. Can I define what's going on for all financial professionals? This isn't a bear. This isn't a bull. This is a lion. That's totally different. You know what that is? I've got something on me right now. And run at the line. So he said the whole game, we won the Super Bowl. He got the MVP for Super Bowl. I got a ring from that one. You know how you girls say diamonds are best friend? I like them too. You ain't allowed to breathe on stuff right now. I show that to you. So run at everything. This is not a bear. This is not a bull. This is a lion. This guy's running, and these lions are chasing him. He stops as a prayer. He says, please make these lions lions of faith. Please make them spiritual lions. Lions bowed their heads, said, thank you for this food we're about to partake. You can't run away from a lion. You got to run at the lion. Don't bargain here. Don't hide. Don't beg. Don't do trickery. Don't believe in myth. Don't believe in magic. Look, can I show you what the answer is to this? You're who you need. Nobody else is coming. You're the answer. Nobody else is coming. Let them freak out and run from the lion. Everybody say run to roar. Run to roar. And the last step is acceptance. I got a beautiful story about acceptance. I use a self-talk phrase that helps me with acceptance. Are you ready? So what, now what? Isaac Perlman is considered the violinist of this century. Isaac Perlman's mom and dad survived a Nazi concentration camp. He became paralyzed at 4 years old from the waist down. He was playing a concert at the Lincoln Center. And as he's playing this concert for the New York Philharmonic, his string busts, and the whole house hears his string bust. And now, so what, now what? The conductor looks at him, he nods his head and keeps on going. He plays the whole concert on 3 strings, perfect. You can see him moving his head around, perfect. When he got done, the place was stunned. A music critic said, everybody knows you can't play a complete piece on 3 strings, but he refused to believe that, refused to believe that you can't do something great right now. At the end, they asked him, he said, sometimes you just have to play music on whatever strings you got left. That's acceptance. Say this for me out loud. Say this first. Say denial. Denial. You remember that guy on Saturday Night Live, that funny guy? Denial's not a river in Egypt. That's kind of like this deal, right? So what you do with that is say, look, this is real. I've got to accept it. Quit running from it. Because you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Say that. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. The next step is anger. Say, stop shooting on myself. Then the next step we get to after that whole idea is depression. If you don't take grab of your imagination, it'll take grab of you. Then we go to bargaining. Say, run at the lion. Run at the lion. And then acceptance. So what, now what? So what now? I want you to just come back, action step. And that model, I'm telling you, I pay attention to it, and I can, even when my simple thing like my plane's canceled, I see me going through all that. Well, I'll go up and be nice to the person at the desk. They'll get that plane run again. I go through all that stuff. Watch the model, but here's the secret. You know how you get through the model? Change your thinking to get through steps through it. Because right now, a lot of people are stuck in those stages. Do you know anybody stuck in anger? Do you know anybody stuck saying this ain't happening, it'll be over tomorrow? Do you know anybody doing that? Sometimes they're in positions you're like, when are you going to snap out of it? Do you know anybody walking around right now doing all those things? When you catch you, move you through it and get to acceptance, and we come back to so what, now what? Just watch the model. Denial, anger, depression, bargaining, but let's get to acceptance. This is what we've got. Now let's go and play the best music we can on whatever strings we've got left.
I don't know about you folks, but maybe I'm biased. I think Dr. Elko is great. You know, one of the points that I took from there is that don't be shoulda all over yourself. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. And he says, don't shoulda all over yourself. So that was one of the key phrases that I grabbed there, along with the other things there. Again, thank you very much.